Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Keeneland Racecourse here on Saturday. It is the 22nd of April 2023. Gonna look at the stakes races on the program from Keeneland, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Let's look at the stakes action, races 8 and 9. The featured 8th race, it is the Elkhorn Stakes. It's a Grade 2 event going for a $350,000 purse. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 10 horses going to the Keeneland Turf Course. The distance of ground of 2,400 meters or a mile and one half on the Keeneland Turf Course. 2,400 meters, a mile and a half. And before I go any further, we're a week away from opening night from Churchill, 2 weeks away from the Derby. Can't wait for that. So hopefully join me next week for my opening day Churchill preview. But still some great racing here at Keeneland. Let's get to the selections now. My top selection, I'm going to go with the 8-horse highest honors. Let's go 8251 in the superfecta. 8251 super, top selection 8-horse highest honors. 7-year-old horse by Tappet. Chad Brown trains this one. Iratis Jr. gets the mount. Horse's most recent outing came the 4th of March at Gulfstream, mile 3/8 in the McDermott Stakes, and the horse finished 4th by 4 3/4 lengths that day. And he sat back early, a little bit wide around the turn, the third turn, and he moved a little bit late, but he just a little bit flat. He probably needed the race off the bench. Come here second off the bench, a little lesser quality, not lesser quality horses, but back to Keeneland where he ran decently in the past. I think he could get a good trip and win. His last few starts, he's either been drawn outside, or inside, meaning post 1-1-1 or post 12-12-12. Post 1 in the previous race, Red Smith at Aqueduct, mile 3/8 Inner Turf Course, 26th November. He finished second by 3 lengths that day, and he just stalked. The winner, Astronaut, had the jump on him, but he ran his heart out there. And then here in the Sycamore at Keeneland, a mile and a half on the 14th of October, he finished third by 1/4 lengths, breaking from post 12-12. Didn't break so well, very wide throughout, but he was gaining late. I thought he earned a decent 97 buyer there. And then the Kentucky Turf Cup at Kentucky Downs, a mile and a half, 10th of September. He finished 4th by 4 1/4 lengths that day. He stalked from a wide poster. He had the lead, and then I think the wide poster got to him. He just kind of hit the wall. Red Knight really found some pin for him to run a good race. This horse, just couldn't keep up there. And then in the Grand Coutier at Belmont, a mile and a half on the 8th of July, he finished third by 1 1/4 lengths. Channel Maker really ran a good race on the front end and is running back in this one today. This horse just, moved a little bit late, but when you run those pedestrian fractions, you're going to win off of that. And then he had a decent third in last year's Louisville at Churchill. Refreshing here, training well, second off the bench. I think he's a live chance. I think his second likeliest winner here is the number 2 horse. The number 2 horse, who is Value Engineering. Since going to the Maker Barn, he's become a great horse by winning the Allen Jerkins over the mile 5 furlongs the 17th of December, winning that race by 1 1/4 lengths. He took off clear. That was a very good performance. After that, in the McKnight at Gulfstream over the mile and a half, he finished second by a length. He stalked, he had the lead, he got caught late, but he didn't go down without a fight. A very good run there. And then before that, in the McDermott over the mile 3/8 at Aqueduct, he won by 3/4 in length, and really had a dream trip from one outside posture. Coming home with a career best 99 buyer. Definitely been on the improve. Making his Keeneland debut here today. I'll give him a shot here at 7-2. He could definitely win on the ticket. And also give a shot to the 5-horse here, Red Knight. He's an old man here, this 9-year-old gelding now. Came back last year to win the Colonial Cup quite nicely by 1.5 lengths, coming home with the 91 buyer. After that, ran the Kentucky Turf Cup, winning at 12.5 to 1 by a nose, coming from nowhere. I thought that was a very game performance. Disappointing race in the Sycamore and the Breeders' Cup Turf, but then came back to win the McKnight Handicap at Gulfstream in January very, very nicely. Another horse he could definitely win. He's done decently on this turf course, like staying the trip. Watch out for him here on the ticket also. But to recap my selection for the 8th from Keeneland, it is the Grade 2 Elkhorn. Let's take the 8-horse highest honors. Give kudos to the 2-horse Value Engineering and the 5-horse Red Knight. 8-2-5-1 super, 8-2-5 in your multi-race. The 9th race from Keeneland now. It is the Ben Ali Stakes. It's a Grade 3 event going for a $300,000 purse. Races for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 7 horses going to the Keeneland main track here. The distance of ground of 1,900 meters or mile 3/16 on the Keeneland main track. 1,900 meters, a mile 3/16. And they increased the trip for this race this year, which I quite like. There's not enough of these mile 3/16 mile and 1/4 races, and I think this is it's a good race here, and it's kind of kind of good local prep race for the Pimlico Special coming up in about 4 weeks. With that being said, I'm going to go with the one-horse Pioneer of Medina. Let's go 1-5-4-7 in the superfecta. 1-5-4-7 super. Top selection to one-horse Pioneer of Medina. For a colt by Pioneer of the Nile. Todd Pletcher trains. Tyler Gaffleone gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came in New Orleans Classic at the Fairgrounds. Mile 8th on the 25th of March. He finished 6 by 11 quarter lengths that day, and he just kind of stalked, hit the wall. He just wasn't getting the good trip that day, just a little bit flat. Refreshing with a better post draw. I'm going to give him another shot here today. Before then, the mine shaft at the Fairgrounds, Mile 16th, 18th of February, he won by a head that day, and he stalked all the way around the race course. He had a gritty performance to the wire, and he got the job done. A very good race for him there. And then the Harlan's Holiday at Gulfstream, Mile 16th on New Year's Eve. He finished second by 2 lengths. He set some decent fraction in the front end. He got caught by Skippy Lawn stalking late, but he came back late. He ran a good gritty performance there. And then before that, optional 125 at Churchill, Mile 16th, 17th of November. He won by a half a length, and from a tracking trip, he really took off clear, come back with a very good 92 buyer. His most recent race here at Keeneland was a disaster, though. That came in optional 125, a mile 8th on the 20th of October. He finished 8th by 12 and a quarter lengths, and basically lost all chances at the beginning, where he's pinched back from wide post draw, a little bit wide, and he just, after that poster, it really took a lot out of him. Refreshing here today. I think he's loaded. I'm going to use him on the ticket. I think the 5-horse Rattle and Roll for Kenneth McPeak and Brian Hernandez is your second likeliest winner. Most recently, New Orleans Classic, he needed the race, finished 4th by 5.5 lengths. It was a little bit wide. He moved a little bit late, but he still needs something. Came home with 100 bar, which wasn't bad at all. Prior to that, in the Thoroughbred Aftercare Marathon Stakes at Kentucky at Keeneland for mile 5/8 on the 4th of November, he finished 4th by 13.5 lengths. He moved a little bit late. I just thought it was a little bit tough race for a 3-year-old that day. I would like to see him stay maybe in the future, but he ran his heart out there, and then was a winner of the Oklahoma Derby quite nicely with a career best 100 buyer, and then won the St. Louis Derby at Fairmount quite nicely with a 96 buyer. Over the summer, he was really improving. He should like the mile 3/16, so a little bit of a long stretch here. At 3-1, I'm going to use him. So to recount my selection for the 9th from Keeneland, it is the Ben Ali. Let's take the 1-horse Pioneer of the Medina. I want to keep saying that other horse. Give kudos to the 5-horse Rattle and Roll. 1-5-4-7 super. 1-5 in your multi-race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.